Let's go for another question at the CWI test. Those who want to take the Certified Welding Inspector test, let's go ahead and see how to go about navigating the code book. Let's go and see question number 31st or 31. When the fit up of a T-joint for fillet welding reveals a 116 root opening, what should we do? What should be done? All right, so there's multiple ways to address these questions, but the most easier way that I have find to answer the question is by going to the index. Okay, on your index, what are you gonna do? I have tabs and I have notes. So there is keywords that you need to look for. So you have fit up, T-joint for fillet welding. So I'm gonna look for, so when you use the index, because the index for me is the easiest way to answer the questions, right? You need to put notes on it. So right here I have misalignment. So when you have a root opening, when you have a fit up opening, when the fit up of a T-joint fillet weld reveals a 116 root opening, what should you do? So that means that when you have that 116, it's not fit up flush. It has to be flush with the other component or the other base material when you're doing a welding. So that will guide me to misalignment. I put that on the notes. Not everything, not every topic that you go and address on a CWI question, the index is gonna have. So what you need to do, you need to put a note for whatever letter the keyword starts with, based on what the question is asking you. You put a note. Okay, so in this I have the note, the clause, and also the page number. On the CWI test, you are timed, so you guys gotta be sharp, exactly know where to look for. So I'm gonna go for 202 and 204, which are relatively close to each other. We're gonna go to 202. Okay, so I have 202. Butt joint misalignment. But this is a root opening. So 202. Well, axis. Nope, it's not here. Let's see. Butt joint misalignment. Fillet weld. Okay, fillet weld assembly. There you go. So obviously, you guys are gonna have to make your own notes on the book. So when it comes to the part C of the CWI test, you will be able to put notes to your code book. Okay. So just make sure when you do your notes and your highlighting, you keep it precise, right? Anything just relating to the code. So fillet weld assembly. The parts to be joined by fillet weld should be brought into as close contact as practical. Okay? So that is what is required based on the code. Obviously, the code's gonna go through other things like, okay, you have a minimum and you have a max, and depending on what the question is asking you, you go based on if it's asking you a minimum or a max or the best practical. So now let's look at the answers. No corrective action necessary because joint having members of any thickness may have up to 5/16. So let's go to 2.4. Let's go to page 204. And Guys, you guys gotta remember that guys need to try to be familiarized on how to go about knowing what clause you are referring to. So the maximum is the it's of the root opening is 516. Okay, but it's not asking you for what's the maximum. So you got to be careful about that detail about the question. Okay, so you may go for this one, but that's not going to be the best answer. Okay, even though it's referred to the code, it's referring to part of what the code is saying. It's not the best answer. Okay, close the joint to as tight as practical. That's the first thing that the clause is asking you to do. To close it and keep it tight. Open the joint to the maximum 316. So that's definitely you could eliminate that very easily, because we already went back to the code and we know that 516 is the maximum. So you could easily eliminate that letter C. Increase the leg of the fillet well by 116. So this is true. Okay, this is a true a true statement, but it will refer to another different question. What the question is asking, what should be done, just like what question A, they're referring to what the code is explaining, right? But when it comes to like this type of questions that are close to the answer, you have to pretty much discern on what it's gonna be the first step to take based on what the code is asking you. So the first thing that the code is asking you, if we go back to the clause, I should keep this open so it could be more fast. All right. So with the code, the first thing the code is asking you, right, is that to keep to brought it up into a close contact as practical, right? And welding doesn't start with when you strike the arc and start your arc, right? It does not start there. It starts all the way to material preparation. So depending the quality of cut that you're doing to the metal, the type of fitness, fitting the metal together, all those variables count. So the way that I understand it, right, is that, hey, first do it as best practice, close contact, right? If X and Y reason you cannot get it up to the best practical, then you have a minimum and then you have a maximum. Okay, so that is one of the questions for the CWI. Hope that helped you guys. Bye bye.